Hey everyone, this is Wobbly Wallaby. Today I'll share a trick to boost your Rune Knight's damage in Ragnarok M Classic for both the auto attack and Dragon Breath build. This Ymir switch trick has existed in Ragnarok Mobile Eternal Love, and I'm glad it still works in Classic. Magic defense is one of the ways to heavily boost your magic attack due to the skill Sink or Swim. Sink or Swim reduces M.Def to 0, and each point of M.Def lost increases own magic attack by 1.5, and also increases magic attack by 5%. That allows M.Def to increase magic attack by quite a lot. Now, the way the M.Def switch works isn't very intuitive, but believe me, real Rune Knight pros know how it works and makes a huge difference. I'll first explain how it works and where it doesn't work, and then also show the ideal gears to take advantage of this, so you can start boosting your Rune Knight's damage right away. So stay tuned for all the details. If you want to get ahead in Ragnarok M Classic but don't want to pay full price on Zeny purchases or on the Kafka Adventure log, then try Itemku, a secure, affordable way to buy a variety of Ragnarok M Classic purchases. You can top up with these D&T store links for US and for the Philippines. For example, I want to buy 32.8 million Zeny with the bonus of 2.7 million Zeny, so I select this package. In Ragnarok M Classic, I go to my profile for my character and then copy my character ID from the game. Then I go back to Itemku and paste the user ID into the order form. I use PayPal, which is convenient for me. They do accept 20 plus other payment systems from around the world. You can also choose other currencies for whatever country you're in. I'm in North America, so I use US dollar. The discount is 15% cheaper than in-game charges. Normally it costs $45.99 US dollar in-game, and here it only costs $38.66. Now I check my in-game mail and I get my Zeny. The D&T store is secured by Itemku Trade Guard, which means you have a safe trading experience with trusted sellers. So don't pay more, use Itemku today for all your Ragnarok M Classic top-up needs. Let's begin with some history. About 2 years ago in Eternal Love, Ymir's notebook changed its behavior, so it behaved much differently than Ymir's did if you'd played Eternal Love when it first began and quit later. Luckily, this new Ymir's behavior is the same in Classic, so you can take advantage of this. Now to get Ymir's notebook, you need to be Adventure Class E, and then you go to the Adventure Skill NPC and buy the Dimensional Fracture. This allows you to save a state of your class, and this allows for easy gear swap and stats or even skill swaps. But what makes Ymir's switch unique is in some cases, buff that occurs during one snapshot of your character retains when switching to another. This is a popular strategy used for both Rune Knights and genetics. Now please note the Ymir switch does not work anywhere, and I'll go over where it does work later, but first let me show you how it works in an instance. Here in my Ymir's notebook I have a slot for magic defense gear and one for my DPS gear for breath. I go to breath first. Here you can see I have Dragon Breath gear, and again this trick also works for the auto attack build as well. Next I show my stats. Before Sink or Swim, I have 1841 magic attack and 271 magic defense on this build. Next I cast Sink or Swim, and my magic attack is now at 2409 and my magic defense is at 0. Next, Sink or Swim is worn off. Now I use my M.Def build. I show my gear. It is different than before. These gears all have M.Def enchants and are also the best M.Def gears I have on this beta account. Here, without Sink or Swim, I have 1094 magic attack and 545 magic defense, so a big improvement in magic defense even with subpar gear. Now I cast Sink or Swim. I now have 2007 magic attack and 0 magic defense. Next I switch back to my breath build. I quickly show my gear again. Next I show my stats. I now have 2902 magic attack and 0 magic defense, so a nice jump in magic attack just from this simple trick. Also, how effective this is also depends on how much magic attack gear you have on your DPS build. You get used to this switch with practice. I did it a ton in Eternal Love, so I'm very used to it. Before battle, cast your buffs on your M.Def build, then cast Sink or Swim. Then go back to your DPS build, and make sure you do not cast Sink or Swim again or you'll lose it. That means if you have Prepare for Elite, take Sink or Swim out, because it's very easy to recast it by accident in there. Now for a mid-fight, I take off auto attack, then go to M.Def and cast Synchro Swim, then go back to my breath build. You do have 30 seconds before this wears out, so you don't have to do it that frequently, I just wanted to show you how to do it mid-battle. Then that's all, and enjoy the extra damage. Now for some extra notes. For this switch to work, use the same skills, as that doesn't switch well if they're different. So first create your DPS build with all the gear and skills you prefer, then save in your Ymir's notebook slot. Then remove the gear and add all your M.Def gear. And then save this as a new slot in your Ymir's notebook. For your M.Def build, you can also invest all your attributes into int first, because every point of int adds 1 point of M.Def. Especially if you're doing the auto attack build, you'll probably be lacking attribute points normally during your DPS build. Now this trick also works on PV instances, and this includes Chaotic Invasion, you can see my magic attack is at 2902. This trick also works on Endless Tower. Again, the attack is 2902. This trick also works in Oracle Dungeon, which is great against tough bosses and mobs. The same goes for Thanatos Tower, which is great for dealing with those incredibly tough bosses on each floor. This works in Ponape Museum, and previously I'd shown it in Lost Isles as well. This also works in all the Palace of Ghost instances. This also works in Constellation Tower. And this also works on all the PvP maps like GVG, and I tried this out before. I also show it works in the Yo-Yo Arena as well. Now where this doesn't work is any towns. You can see all your buffs are gone when you Ymir switch. Many times when people complain it doesn't work, they accidentally do it in town, and obviously this won't work, so please try this in an instance. Also, if you have a house, this doesn't work either. I don't have one on this account, but I've tried it on Eternal Love. Now most notably, it doesn't work on the field, so when MVP hunting you can't use this trick, but there is an alternative. Here you can see also there's a notable delay when you do a switch. It complains a lot, because I'm doing it too fast. So it's definitely different than what you do in an instance. And again, you can see all the buffs are gone, so what should you do? In this case, I'd highly recommend you put 1 or 2 M.Def gears on your item bar and manually switch. For example, my pike is the highest M.Def one, and also my lance in the bar. You hit the item bar switch to your M.Def gear first, and then cast Synchro Swim, and then after go back to your menu bar and select all the ones that are for DPS. I find this much more painful, and I personally don't do this, but in case you still want to take advantage of M.Def gear, this is an alternative. Next are the ideal gears. In general, M.Def percentage is the best, so try to aim for those, then raw M.Def, and finally int. Again, each point of int gives 1 point of M.Def. Now for all the ideal enchants, try to get the magic defense enchant. First is offhand. Early game is Orleans server for the M.Def plus 50. Mid to late game, a high refined static shield. At tier 4, each refining you get gets magic defense plus 1%, and at tier 8, you get M.Def plus 5%. The ideal card is the Tomb Zombie card for M.Def plus 2%. Next for armor, early game the Adventure Master armor is great for the int and the 8% magic defense. For mid to late game, a high refined staunch armor star gives 1% magic defense per refine. For a card, there's not really a good one, so I'd say for now use the Dark Swordsman card since it can raise your int based on strength. Next for garment, Coat of Dragon Scale tier 4 is great. You get 2% magic defense at refine 5, 3% extra at refine 10, and 5% extra at refine 15. This can be good from early to late game depending on your refine level. Next for a card, Willow's Star card is great for plus 10 magic defense and 5% magic defense. Next for footgear, Goldbean's Greaves are good for 35 magic defense. For a card, the Egria card is good since it gives int. Next for accessories, Ayadullah Hen is good for the int. The amount of int may not be worth it, the card is actually more valuable, so using a cheap socketable accessory works too for early game. Next for card, the Creep card is great for 2% magic defense. Next for weapon, Green Steel Pike is great, since for every refine you get 1% magic defense. For card, use the Sting Star card for 10% magic defense, so definitely get 2 of these. If a high refined Steel Pike is too expensive, then just focus on a double socketed weapon so you can have 2 Sting Star cards. The 20% magic defense you get from it is definitely worth it. Next for headwear, Gloomy's Witch headwear is great for 5% magic defense. For card, the Gibbet card is great for 10% magic defense. Next for face, Nightmare Ghost Face is fantastic, since it gives you 10% magic defense, then for each refine, you get 1% more magic defense. For mouth, there really isn't a good one at the moment, so just choose the Chocolate Donut, and that's fine for the int. Next for back, Hellas Servant is great for 2% magic defense. Next for tail, M.Def Fairy is great for 40 magic defense. You can get this from the guild vending machine. Well, that's all. I hope you'll give this a try. You can use these gears in conjunction with any Rune Knight guide you might have as another way to further boost your damage. Definitely for late game, this will make a huge difference, especially when you get a ton of magic attack percentage. So it doesn't hurt to start investing in some of these first. If you're serious about being a Rune Knight, then you'll definitely want to be investing in the M.Def gear for late game. So good luck with that grind. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Here's a video that I'd recommend. And if you want more Ragnarok M Classic content, check out this playlist over here.